on if you pay for the premium membership, which honestly it's worth it, right? Like if you're making money on live or your lives are helping you make money off of your social media, which they are, you can download StreamYard, you can pay for a monthly subscription of like $40, or there's other apps you can use too where you can go live on up to 8 different social media platforms at one time. I pay for the monthly subscription that allows me to do 3 because I'll go the only one that StreamYard doesn't have is TikTok. TikTok won't let you port into any of those apps, but I'll do like YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook Live. You should look into using a viral camera or OBS because you can do even more. I have that stuff. Um, really all I do is just rant. Sometimes I'll be in the studio. Sometimes I'll post, songs or books or poems I wrote. But for the most part, I've realized that my platform is coming from being a political commentator. I went to school for political science. I originally went viral because I'm a writer, right? I wrote songs, I wrote poems, and a lot of people, like I would do like hashtag slam poetry, poet talk, things to that extent. And I got picked up for like a lot of like my comments on love and dating. That's why I originally went viral, right? But because my degree is political science and economics, and I'm really into that shit, and like, I've worked in the legal field or the car field most of my life, and now I do car and legal, which I fucking hate. I need to be back in a shop. Like if I'm not capping on you guys when I say I'm probably going to quit my fucking day job and go into being a full-time streamer. And if it doesn't work out, then I'm going to go back and I'm going to work at a shop because I get recruited by like high-end manufacturers to work service because they're like, I'm a gearhead. There's nothing I know more than cars. I don't know anybody who knows more about cars than me. Oh, Tess is on. That's my best friend. You guys got to go follow her. I just invited her to the live. There she is. She's always telling me to quit mine. She knows. She's so sick of hearing about my fucking job, guys. I can't even begin to tell you. You in the Bay Area? No, I'm in Chicago. But that's the thing about it is like there's always... Oh, let me turn the volume up. Hold on. Sorry. Now I can hear you, Tess. Say something.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm going to go in my car real quick and take a...
But there's always like a job in the automotive industry where I can make at least figures. So if I were to quit my job today and for whatever reason I go and I stream and I try it for an entire year and it doesn't work out, I could just pop back into the automotive industry. I could work as a service advisor, a service manager, a finance manager. I can make 6 figures in the automotive industry pretty easily, but ultimately, like, I'm fucking cooked on working for somebody else. And I love this politics shit. And I'm thinking about running.
Somebody said you in the suburbs, not Chicago. Like they know where you live.
I don't know who this RSRS1313 is. Like they keep commenting like I know them.
313 is Michigan, yeah?
No, it's 1313. I think I know them in real life, but they won't say who they are. And if you really do know where I live, why the fuck would you put that on there? Like I don't fucking tell people where I live. I had to fucking snap on this one dude that I used to work with who hopped on my live and started bringing up work. And I'm like, I don't want people knowing where I fucking work or live. Shut the fuck up. Like trying to like flex like he knew me on live. That shit be blowing the fuck out of me.
Why you got your jacket on? You cold?
Yes, I'm fucking cold as fuck. It is so fucking cold in my basement. I have my space heater on. And it's 51 degrees outside too. Oh, look, you've got 10 coins.
It's not 51. I thought it was like 30 something.
It was this morning, but today it's 51. I've got my alerts on if my internet pops back up so I can go back to working the job I fucking hate.
Yeah, I'm literally just like in my car. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a 10-minute break. Been looking at a monitor for the last couple hours. I'm going to take a break and then hop back in.
I fucking love my teeth. Sorry. I was let go from work for being black. What state do you live in? Because that's still illegal.
What's that?
Gotta go, but love your work. Thanks, peace, lover. If you guys are just tapping in, please help me reach my live goal. I'm trying to raise enough money so I can go to the Memorial Day protest in Washington, D.C. Sometimes I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying.
Yeah, it's just a tap the like.
Tap like. And go follow my friend too on TikTok. Teresa XO Baby, right? Teresa Baby XO. Go follow her on TikTok. I'm also on YouTube at the same time.
Oh, are you?
Mm-hmm. It's a battle of the lives. I'm like putting
How many people are watching on YouTube though?
3. I'm lucky if I get like 10 viewers on YouTube. Like YouTube don't fuck with me like that. But every day I go live on YouTube, I gain like 50 followers. So it's still worth it.
Yeah.
And every day I go live on TikTok, I gain like 1,000. Did you say you were thinking of running for something? I am. Because everybody's like, run for Congress. And I'm like, I'm thinking about it, but I don't know fucking step 1 of that shit. And then on top of that, I'm finna be up in that bitch. No, fuck you, Mr. President. Nah, see.
Better watch out or you get banned, girl.
Yeah, true shit. I got a mouth on me. Which might be what America needs. That would be amazing. What America needs. They need a spicy
I literally
little...
need to go on vacation so bad. So bad.
2-8 time and they stay recorded. Oh yeah, I should do that, right? You just smile and lie a lot, coming from somebody named Man. Pretty sure there's an Alpha Bro podcast you can go and fucking watch if you don't like me. I don't know. Somebody commented on my YouTube that I just smile and lie a lot. Oh no, I get it. Okay, I get it. I'm slow. He's talking about if I was a politician, just smile and lie a lot. No, but see, that's what got us where we are in the first place.
Yeah.
My bad, Man. I thought you were coming for me. I got a lot of people coming for me. So I'm so like knee jerk to snap on people. You see why I wouldn't do so well?
Yeah,
I'd be like,
you wouldn't.
Fuck is y'all talking about? Be horrible. Don't jump the gun. Oh, see, right there. I'm fired. First day in Senate, I'm fired.
I wouldn't even know what to talk about. I feel like honestly, all I care about is the cost of living and if my kids are going to be safe in schools.
And the good thing is, like, we do not
just
have
their day to day.
Hey, gamers.
Laughing properly. Honestly, it would just be good if politicians could just be real and identify with middle class because that's.
Well, AOC had introduced a bill that she proposed where no member of Senate or the House of Representatives, because essentially a lot of Americans don't know Congress is Senate and the House of Representatives combined. That's what makes up Congress, and you have these congressional hearings. But she's trying to say that no congressman or woman would be able to own or invest in any stocks. And if they pass, because, you know, like, Democrats and Republicans alike are both massively guilty of playing the stock market. Like Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi is this Democrat that a lot of people really used to like and identify with up until she passed some legislation that ended up in her having an $8 million gain from the stock market. And this is what's happening, you know, with Trump signing the executive order on these tariffs and passing that legislation that shorted the stock market where they all went and bought it up and then pulled the tariffs and it went back up. But, you know, that's the name of the game. All these lawmakers are voting in the best interest of their stocks because they don't want to take a loss. And it would be impossible. Like, if I knew that I had $8 billion tied up in the stock market and I had to pass legislation that was going to cause me to lose $8 billion because every citizen in America and the United States to have Medicare and Medicaid, that's going, $8 million is a lot of money. There is a lot of people who will sell out their country for $8 million. I personally wouldn't. You know what? No. I like to think I wouldn't. I've never had $8 million in front of me. So I can't say, you know, like, it's one of those things where I don't ever want to act sanctimonious or holier than thou because I don't know what I would do until I'm put in the position to choose what I'd have to do. But I would imagine it's very difficult to be like, fuck my money. I care about the greater good. And I really think we should pass that, but she introduced it at the wrong time. You should have passed that when Biden was in office before Trump came in, because that might have done something, but that's never going to get passed with the current administration. Yeah, they should have been done that.
There's people like you because I literally don't know anything about politics.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's why.
Like I told you, it's too much. It's literally way too much for me to like intake, and I'm just like, yeah.
Cool. But that's.
Am I gonna pay my rent this month? If can I afford eggs that are $10?
But essentially, like that's the point, right? A lot of Americans, you study civics and that's it. You don't know like how many of you guys actually have at least your Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments memorized? Nobody. When you actually,
They did a preview of the Constitution test to see if Americans could pass it.
and they can't.
Literally nobody in my class could barely pass it.
Right, and then
because it's like you only know so much.
And
the basics.
Exactly. In America, you are taught everything about nothing. And the problem is you're intentionally undereducated. So all of that's by design. Most Americans can't even name the 3 legislative branches. And if they can, they have absolutely no idea what they do or they don't do, right? They don't know the difference between Congress, Senate, and the House of Representatives. They don't know the Supreme Court. They don't know anything. So, everybody thinks that the president just makes the laws and that's it, or nobody understands economics, whereas in other countries this is like really drilled in your brain. So that's why you see when things start to go wire, like if you're paying attention to what's happening in Serbia, in Greece, in Georgia, in France, when they had their protests recently with the farmers, or Germany with the alt-right uprising, even like places like Denmark, Sweden, Holland, they're all protesting for Palestine. Anytime things slightly go awire, the people pull together and they revolt. South Korea, etc. We have tons of examples of this currently happening across the world, and that is because you have an educated population. They intentionally defunded and undereducated Americans, and that's why you have so many people who are like, I didn't vote for this, but you quite literally did. This is exactly what they said they were going to do. Well, you didn't think that a greedy, crooked politician and like corrupt corporate man wasn't going to do exactly what he said he was, fuck you the way he said he was. Okay, bro. That's like dirty texting a dude for weeks and then pulling up surprise that he whips out his Wang Johnson on the first date. What were you expecting?
The attitude.
The attitude, dude. The tude. If you guys are just tapping in, please help me reach my life goal. I'm trying to raise enough money so that I can go to the Memorial Day protest in Washington, D.C. Oh, I've got 11 viewers. This is my second day having double digits on YouTube. So my YouTube knows I'm also live on TikTok. I'm broadcasting live on all of this stuff. They need to go back to teaching civics. I remember having a specific class in high school. What would you change in the educational system? What would the curriculum be based on? Well, I'd stop teaching that stupid ass math the way that they do. I would spend more time on studying statistics, data, and budgeting than I would fucking algebra. I think that algebra, geometry, physics, things like that, should be for advanced students. I would teach more critical thinking. I would teach more information retention, and I would eliminate multiple choice answers, standardized testing, because it's not a thing in other countries. When they ask a question, they expect you to have the ability to give the answer. And that's where the critical thinking and retention come into place. Those are skills that you teach early on in the developmental stage. So if I had to reform our educational system, a lot of coping mechanisms are set in stone by the time a child is between ages 5 to 7. So kindergarten and second grade should be taught on information retention, analysis skills, and critical thinking. And then once they've built the mind to think, then you start installing the information. You start testing to see who places where. Instead of teaching, like, of course, you have the basic arithmetic, addition, subtraction, division, multiplication should absolutely be taught. Algebra maybe, so you can figure out where everybody lands. But in high school, you should be teaching statistics analysis, data analysis, and accounting more so than geometry or, I'm never going to measure a fucking square. I'm never going to figure out X from Y, but what I'm going to do every single day of my life is watch the news. I need to know what is or isn't propaganda. Like in other countries, they have anti-propaganda classes. In other countries, they focus heavily on, data analysis and statistics. You'll look at data in a pie chart and half these motherfuckers can't even read it. Right, anatomy, things like that. Biology should be a huge focus. We should be raising more skilled laborers to maintain infrastructure. We should be raising.
You see what they do in China with the kids at a young age. They are outside learning like how to cook, like just life skills. They're not sitting inside just looking at a book all day.
Precisely. And there should also be like a heavier emphasis on, skilled laborers or particular careers. We need mechanics. We need construction workers. We need engineers. We need doctors. We need lawyers. If I had to reform the American education system, I would stop with this indoctrinated slave schedule. That's number one. But you also have to understand that in other countries, they have different work schedules. Like people will work 4 days a week. England introduced the 4-day work week and saw like an 80% increase in worker productivity. Whereas America makes you work 60 hours and is substantially decreased in worker productivity. It's just crazy. Only students in honors or GT classes are pre-AB because classes get that type of education. Yeah, I mean, still, but like there needs to be a heavier focus on like, let me give you some perspective. There is a 7-year-old somewhere in the Middle East who is more of an adult than a 25-year-old man in America. Thank you for the gifts, Pat. There are a lot of people in different countries that ages 7 or 9 are taking care of their elderly. They're cooking, they're helping with the family, they can balance a budget, they have regular life skills. My daughter is 9 years old and she cooks, okay? And one day she was straining the pasta when she was 8 and it slipped and spilled all over and she got 2nd-degree burns. And there was a nurse who was like, why is your 8-year-old cooking? And my doctor, who was a foreigner, was like, why wouldn't an 8-year-old be cooking? Like, there are people who think it's weird that my 8 or 9-year-old knows how to cook more dishes than some 25-year-old adult in America.
Which is crazy.
Right, like...
Because that's true. There's, like, people that are like, I know how to make mac and cheese or pull a bowl of cereal. And it's like...
All I knew how to make till I was about 30 was, like, scrambled eggs and ramen noodles. Honestly, I used to date men who knew how to cook. The only reason I learned how to cook was because Marco was so big on having a home-cooked meal. And he's like, it would make me feel like a man if you cooked for me. So I learned how to fucking cook. Yeah. Just for him to still cheat. Moral of the story. Cooking doesn't get you wifed. Teach them trade jobs. Yes, Texas or public schools do have that type of option. Texas ranks the lowest in the American education system. We should never talk about what Texas is doing. Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Arkansas, all those southern super red states, all the one. Listen, there's a direct correlation between Trump supporters and the uneducated. They put out statistics. This is a true story. We were just talking about how they should teach statistics analysis, right? I had posted a screenshot of a news broadcasting I was watching where they were like comparing like only like 1% of educated white men voted for Trump, whereas 30% of uneducated white men voted for Trump. And then they were showing that like 50% of uneducated white women voted for Trump compared to like negative 38% of educated white women, meaning like no educated white woman voted for Trump. Only the uneducated ones did. There is a direct correlation between being a Republican and being uneducated. Isn't Texas the head of the education system? No. What? You mean the Department of Education? The Department of Education resides in every state. So it's individualized to the state. So when President Trump is like, I'm defunding the Department of Education, what that means is the tax dollars, your income tax goes.
Who were you talking to in that, like?
Huh?
They asked if it's better to watch on your YouTube or TikTok.
Mm-hmm. So when you pay income taxes, your income taxes go to a wide variety of things within your state. They're allocated, state and income tax are allocated to things like infrastructure, which is like your highway, or building community buildings, and your education system as well as welfare programs for your particular state. Action for Children, Link, Medicaid, Medicare, etc. Are we playing radio today? I'm not just live on TikTok, bro. Like, stop being weird. God, you're fucking annoying.
Radio today?
Right, yeah, we're playing radio, bro. I'm not actually a podcaster who gets paid for it. The world revolves around your opinion. Go fuck yourself. Cleaning, pummeling, basically essential works. Okay. Teach some trade job. Home economics, shop, and business courses are taught here. Yeah, they are too. Well, did you have home ec, Tess? it's really just like 1 year.
Senior year.
Yeah, it's 1 year in high
class.
school.
It's like, it's like I think it's called Foundation Economics. And you took it your senior year.
Yeah, they teach you how to balance it. Well, back in my day, back when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Taught us how to write a check.
Yeah, they teach us how to write a check, balance a checkbook, and then you had workshop and cooking, and it was homework.
Yeah.
So you would learn like basic like fix and repair stuff, cooking, and like how to balance a checkbook and pay bills and pay taxes. But it was only like one class, one semester. That's it. That's all. My mom taught me when I was 5. Your mom taught you to balance a checkbook when you were 5? That's crazy. Yeah, in first aid. Yeah, like real simple stuff. But it needs to be bigger than that, especially in America. Because like most other countries, like they'll tell you what you owe in taxes. America has privatized taxes. They're lobbied by these tax companies. So they won't tell you what you owe. You have to pay somebody else to tell you what you owe or figure it out on your own. And if they get it wrong or you get it wrong, then you get fined for getting it wrong, which is crazy. Like I got a letter stating that I did my taxes wrong. So I go back and I do my taxes. Then a year later they audit me and they're like, no, you did your taxes wrong. You owe this much. And then because I couldn't pay it all at one time, I owed them $1,300. And when I set up a payment plan for it over the course of 6 months, my $1,300 went to $2,200. So it increased $900. I was like, what? Why can't you guys just send me a notification? Like, if you could tell me that I did it wrong, you could tell me what I owe. Mm-hmm. So in America, they have to teach tax preparation, but they don't. Welcome to America. That's happened to me 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row.
I always just do TurboTax.
Yeah, me too. And majority of the audits that happen in America happen to people who make less than $85,000. So it's the low income citizens that they're auditing because they know that they can't pay them up front and they can charge them for a payment plan. Isn't that fucking corrupt as fuck? It's also low income Americans who pay the highest income tax, which is crazy. You would think it would be the other way around. You would think that the billionaires would pay the highest tax and that the impoverished would pay the lowest tax. But for some odd reason, it's the reverse, and I can't wrap my head around it. And what I can't wrap my head around is the people who support this. Like the working class people who are like, yeah, I think billionaires should get tax breaks because it creates more jobs. They could literally pay the same taxes that we pay, even if they just paid the same. Even if there was no sliding scale, everybody pays the same taxes. And they pay the same taxes that we pay. If they paid like 1% of what they're supposed to pay, it would immediately fix our economy, and they would still have enough money to pay their employees more, and they'd have more money they could spend in an entire lifetime. There's no reason. There's literally no reason for us to be this way. My tax bill went from $6K to $10K in 6 months, but they've owed me $17K since 21. My friend was owed $5,000 for like 2 years. When they finally sent her a check, somebody else stole it from her mailbox and cashed it.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. But that's America. They still be
How do they owe you for multiple years? Like, how does that even happen?
They don't give a fuck.
Is it because like something went wrong and then you're just waiting on them to send the check?
I think so. I just got a check from $550 from 2009.
We could bring everyone out of poverty, literally. Even the middle class now is like, is there a middle class at this point?
No, actually, they've completely eliminated the middle class in America now. There's no middle class. There's no upper class. There's no upper middle class. You are poor. If you are not earning for one person to live comfortably in America, the way that we used to, economically speaking, like, you know, a mailman used to be able to own a home, have a car for him and his wife, send his kids to college, take a family vacation at least once a year, own a fucking boat and a membership to a golf club, go out to dinner, you know, just live a normal life, right? Yeah. If an American wanted to live a normal life, participating in normal American activity, they have to make $176,000 a year per person in the household. Like, that's what they're saying. One person needs to live comfortably in America. And if you have children, they're saying you should be over 200. My combined household income right now, if I'm lucky, is like 160, 170. And I got 2 kids. Crazy. Crazy. Crazy.
And rent's like 20 over 2 G's average. Just for like, and even a 3-bedroom is like almost 3 G's.
It does depend on the state you live in still, Lloyd. That I'm sure that varies. But now we're getting to a point where it's inflated everywhere, right? Like, that's what rent control is doing. So 1/3 of the homes that have been bought since the pandemic were bought by hedge funds. And then hedge funds are the problem with the housing market in America is a hedge fund is a fancy way of saying a bank owned corporation, owned by a corporation, right? So these hedge funds came in and they bought up 1/3 of all the homes for sale over the last 4 or 5 years now, and they rent them out. Okay, and they turn around and because they're a corporation, they dump a bunch of money into fixing that house. That increases the value of that house. They go throughout the neighborhood and they buy a bunch more houses and they do this to a bunch of different houses and they can sit on them being vacant. It's fine. It doesn't affect them, right? But when all these houses are valued at a higher amount, whether you're investing in your home or not, just being in that neighborhood now, the value of your home has increased. And you pay taxes based off the assessed value of your home. So this is gentrification 101. This is how they price average hardworking citizens out of their own home. Then they end up owning entire neighborhoods. Then it spreads across the United States. You got places like fucking Utah that have no fucking amenities, but a house is selling for $300,000. Your nearest fucking Target is fucking 30 miles out. You know, that's normally a house, a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house in America used to go for like 100,000. Now they're starting at like 320 to 375, and that's everywhere you look. We don't have this state to state variation as intense as we used to. They're starting to change that. You can literally buy a V, own nothing and be happy. But no. Like, how are you? I mean, I get what you're saying in theory, but we shouldn't exist in a society where we have all means and material to make sure that everybody is fed, clothed, and homed. Nobody has to starve. And then we still have enough money to invest into infrastructure or exploring the entire universe. But we've got billionaires hoarding imaginary resources, right? Money is fictitious. Pay our lawmakers $350,000 a year. A government paid campaigns. Why do you stop? Please stop reposting the same thing over and over and over. Okay, stop that. Actually, that's gonna get you blocked, bro. Why do you keep doing that? Holy shit! He left the same comment like 18 times.
Where? Oh my gosh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my god. That wasn't necessary. Hi. Oh, hell no. That figures. Yeah. Yeah, it's like we always brag about it. You will owe nothing and be happy. Wef always brags about it. I mean, you can't say what's going to make somebody else happy. Home ownership might make somebody happy. You might like being nomadic. You might not care about owning something. Somebody wants to own a home or own some land. That's what's going to make them happy. So you want to own nothing, and that will make you happy, and that's cool. But again, your version of your dream life is not everybody else's. And we live in a society, we live in a world where we were literally given the Garden of Eden.
She said there's castles in Scotland at the same price as the average house.
Yeah, you know that there's right now this remote island where I think it's Ireland or Scotland, I don't know which one it is. They're offering to pay you to move there and renovate these like dilapidated castles.
Really?
Yeah, like there's countries all over Europe that are doing like these €1 houses, and essentially like you pay the down payment and you pay to restore it. Some of them will give you money to restore the house. Other ones you have to do it on your own. But once the restoration of the home is completed, you're paid back your down payment and your restoration fees, and you only pay €1 for the house.
Wow.
Yeah. For like towns that have like declining populations, because that's happening a lot, I guess, in like Spain, Italy, Portugal, Ireland, like a lot of these beautiful countries have declining populations. Europe will always have an energy problem. Not if we let them develop clean energy. I don't know why the world wants to be so dependent upon natural resources that deplete and poison the world. That'll never make sense to me. Like, we don't even need to use oil. They've come up with so many forms of clean energy that we undoubtedly could use one, and we're still using oil. And that's crazy to me because you're like, that's going to run out eventually. And it's poisoning our earth. So either the earth is going to kill us or we're going to kill it. In Sicily and Italy, for €1, you can purchase a house but have to put 10K into them. Yeah.
What people want or should want. In Sicily and Italy, for €1, you can purchase a house but have to put 10K into them.
Yeah, I mean, there's all different types of programs. Essentially, they want you to renovate these dilapidated properties in cities that have declining populations. But, you know, if your dream is to homestead, like a lot of Americans have right now, that's an ideal program for you. You're off the grid. And these are like ancient villas, you know? All right, YouTube, I got to hang up on you because this phone is dying. But thanks for tuning in, and you can switch over to my TikTok. I'll be on there for about another 20 minutes. Okay, bye.